Hello, Frances. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Cesar.
Thank you for taking part of the project SYZYGY, which we have been curating and coordinating through the Temiscaming Gallery.
And thank you so much for including me in my work.
This was the first piece that we had at the museum in Mazatlan.
The idea here was that I chose this image because, I mean, in human nature, human rights, it's like we all basically want to live on a planet that is healthy and conducive to our well-being. Consequently, the city of Toronto started controlled burns in the oak savannas of Ontario. And Southern Ontario used to be all oak savanna, except that developments around the Golden Horseshoe, around Lake Ontario, has squeezed these Carolinian forests into very special designated areas. And one of them is High Park. We have partnered with indigenous communities to start the fires in the last couple of years. So they have come along and they bless and they do dancing, drumming before the fire starts. This is a gel transferred image, which means that I take the image and I put layers of gel medium over it, and then I basically rub off the paper backing, and what you're left with is a thin film of the image transferred onto the gel matte medium.
So, what is that material that allows that transparency?
It is the gel matte medium. So basically, gel matte medium is acrylic paint without the pigment. So when it dries clear. So the more layers you put on, the thicker the actual film of the piece is, but you can still see through it. Light emanates from the background.
Now, this is the piece that we have at the Temiscaming Gallery in this moment.
I used a positive and a negative orthographic film to create this image. Orthographic film is the film that they use to make x-rays.
Mhm.
So the cyanotype is an alternative photography process. It's one of the earliest historical photo processes. I'm very interested in alternative photo processes, as you can tell. So basically what I did was I coat 100% rag paper with a chemical solution, and I use large scale orthographic negatives and positives sandwiched together and slightly offset. So that's why you get that line. Then I expose it to sunlight and it's developed in water. So this was a self-portrait staring out the window, and it's called Sedition. And in Italian, sedere, it means to sit. So I was sitting looking out the window, but sedition also means basically questioning the world order, and especially, from the feminist perspective.
When we are sending the works from Canada, sometimes it comes the interesting question. So what is that you guys are doing in Canada? What is the main identity of Canada? And I kind of laugh. It's kind of difficult to give that answer because when we see the art scene in Canada, we are all over the place. So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I used to teach darkroom photography and visual arts, and my classroom, I used to refer to it as the United Nations because we had students, seriously, we had students from all over the place, all over the world, and some from war-torn countries, and they were all in one classroom. And, it just struck me that in the classroom itself, the kids, the teenagers would get along really well. They worked together, they cooperated. And I was just sort of amazed how they brought their perspective from their home worlds into their creation and art creation. We're no longer just the group of seven imagery. We have gone way beyond that, have become much more globalized in that sense. I'm Italian. I was born in Italy. So, I mean, in Italy, they have a very sort of specific art background. When I was there, I was fascinated with the contemporary Italian artists who were doing, so many different installations and film and video and all sorts of stuff. And that's what I was attracted to more than the, historical Madonna and Child kind of stuff.
But we are also working very actively as curators and organizers.
Yep.
How do you see this practice in relation to the art?
Well, it certainly overlaps because I mean, I've been coordinating exhibitions for a long, long time. And I like that energy of coordinating, curating, because that just gives you a broader perspective in the art community. And especially in Toronto, where we have, a large metropolitan area, you have so many different artists. And I like bringing those artists together so that we can share experiences and ideas and so forth and so on.